It's the 26th of June and my upload today is just a simple share with regard to the individuals that have been incessantly abusing the Human Rights Declaration since I became a married mother. So as I keep reiterating, the obstructions of justice that are occurring are very dangerous when an innocent child is involved, that it was subject to illegalities only since the age of 2 years of age. So that's one serious matter, and the consequences of that unlawful action were quite traumatic for him as well. So I'm still awaiting for the Ombudsman for Children to address that issue. So that's just one very serious issue that I'm going to raise for the attention of the relevant authorities. The second matter that's been occurring in this community as a consequence of hate crime and treason, and since my angelic light body was damaged between 2016 and 2018, the issue of a collective in a community that have been quite silly, really, with regard to their false allegations, their slander, their fallacies, and their little storyboard of the events that have not been occurring. So they've been changing stories and tales as this has continued, and they have not actually addressed the facts and reality of the situation. So there's a very dangerous situation occurring when people aren't actually working with the reality of the situation. So anyway, the point of the matter that I'm getting to is that since 2016 my angelic light body has been damaged, and the individuals that have been utilising and exploiting my light fragments for their own intents and purposes that were not consented to have tried not only to avoid the consequences of their actions when damaging nature and society and wildlife. The blame was shirked. They shirked the blame. It was fully known the culprits that damaged my royal angelic light body. Fully known, it's common knowledge. And the developments that they have been making artificially in society, the culprits, it's all common knowledge, the culprits who stole from a royal angelic light body and developed and exploited and utilised sacred light for intents and purposes that were not consented to and that are not lawful and that they have no actual rights to. So they don't own my light body. Basically, they don't own my gifts, light and blessings. So anyway, these people, this is reality and truly at the moment. These people that shirked the blame of their offences against the society and nature wildlife programmes that have been of recent days and years, just since 2019, a very serious issue that they've damaged the ozone layer, the climate, and etc. These matters that they've all been causing, especially with regard to human rights, my human rights, and their treasonous offences. They, as I've said, concocted an avoidance tactic to falsely accuse a literary expert, a teacher of book and knowledge with regard to their scientific work, that research I would not be very much interested in. So these individuals are now in another stage of their funny story of fallacies, trying to lay claim to the ownership of very precious matters that they didn't even have any entitlement to 3 years ago, since they started causing very dangerous offences against the Constitution and the Human Rights Declaration. So they're already offenders against the state, and they're actually of a collective of hate crime. So this is all really interesting, but this is what's happening, and they're in contempt for repeat offences against my son and I, and for violating privacy information, and for being of publicity stunts and defamation. So I have a lot to contend with that I'm still waiting for the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach to repair the damages and resolve the very dangerous issues that I've had to contend with, while individuals have been exploiting from my experiences and accomplishments. So the legislation that I've been setting as new reform and new foundations since 2017, 2018, I'd appreciate the government contacting me with regard to the very dangerous matters of people intruding upon me, and the individuals that are laying claim to my sacred angelic light body. I hate to disappoint, but there's very serious issues with regard to your offences against the Constitution, the State and the Declaration of Human Rights, and those individuals of very serious nonsense, fallacies and publicity, and very seriously very cheeky individuals. I would like to remind you that you're in very serious contempt for very dangerous offences during a pandemic, also causing hazards to life with damages to bodily integrity. So the obligations of the government to my royal patronage are priority. I hope that's fully acknowledged, especially with regard to my role in the new reforms also, and as regards individuals that are of fallacies and funny stories in Tralee, County Kerry. I'd appreciate a bit of responsible, mature and competent behaviour, and any repeat offenders discussing matters that have not been discussed with them. I'd appreciate you having a bit of regard for privacy and copyright and defamation, and that's for politicians and practitioners and professionals that are intruding upon private royal. I'd appreciate you repairing the damages you've caused my son and I. Thank you.